Hey everyone, thanks for joining our video this morning, this evening, wherever you are in the world on Bitcoin. Before I get started, just be real quick here and brief. This isn't financial advice, I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, manage your own risk, doing your own research. I'm just here giving my opinion on the market. You can agree with me or disagree with me. That's completely up to you. Okay, so what I want to look at a couple things that I'm seeing here. I'm going to talk about, of course, my bullish scenario, my bearish scenario, where some of these thoughts are invalidated, and we've just recently had some price action that, further validates some of these thoughts. So when I was doing my video on, I think it was Saturday, I was talking potentially, and it was actually right around, this area right here. So it was on the 7th. I said that it was very likely we were going to pull back. We had a couple wicks here to the upside, and then I said we were going to pull back, and likely we are going to come back to about 7,400, and we did. We actually went as low as about 73.85 or so. We had this pullback, and this is this is an important level for us to hold. This little red range that I have outlined here, and what I want to do is outline some of the reasons why this area is important. So of course we have lots of support down here in this area. This is from back in late November. We kind of had some resistance in this area in mid to late November as well. But this is the area that I'm most interested in. And then, of course, when we were trading below that, this was also pretty significant resistance as well. We broke above it, and then, we had a little bit of support there. We fell down back below it. And then it was resistance as well over here. And then now it has become support. So on the 7th, that was support. And then we've recently touched the support level a couple times as well. So for me, our definite our definite support zone is between 7,400 and 7,450. So down here at the bottom of this red zone, which is right around 7,400, and right down here 7,450, and that level 7,450 is defined currently. I've wicked off the top of our recent cleansing wick, and then wicked off the bottom of this hourly, which still has about 22 minutes left in the candle as well. So this can adjust over time, but what I'm seeing here is on a higher time frame perspective, and let me just go ahead and get rid of some of the stochastics that I have down there. I'll talk about those here in a moment as well. But in this little upwards channel that we're currently in, the lower channel, or the lower area, the lower range of this channel is getting closer and closer to this price action, which is leading me to believe that the more we go sideways, let's say we do find ourselves moving sideways in this, we are going to catch up with this lower very quickly, and we're going to need to see a move up out of this. Now, that of course all remains to be seen. It all remains to be seen. But I think things can get pretty ugly if we don't see a bullish reaction off of this lower. So again, it is possible for us to come down here. And I do think that there is still a bearish scenario here that still needs to play out. But down here at about 73, 75 or so, if we don't get this push off of this, not that I would take a trade down here, but if we don't get a push off of this, then I do think the bearish scenario is likely going to play out, which it's not going to be pretty. So, we've got this 4 here. Let's say right now what we've put in is we've put in a 1, and then we're putting in this 2 on our bearish impulse down, 1, 2, and then we're going to start seeing ourselves creating a double bottom here, and then a 4, potentially to retrace back up here, and then finally to get that move back down to 5,800, which is what we've kind of been waiting on. And again, I'm still going to reiterate that some of these levels that I'm waiting on, which are all the way out here, by the way, so this is probably going to take some time. We're probably going to spend a lot of time consolidating there, and then we're going to see that move back down here to, again, still targeting 5,800 for our downside targets. Still remains to be seen, and this may not happen at all, but I am looking for this move down here, at least to test this bottom down again at 6,500, but again, kind of looking for a freak out move down to the 6,000 area. Now to the upside, if we can break above the 7,700 mark, then I do think that we have the potential to get some of these upside targets, which again, we have been looking at these. The upside targets here in our blue zone, we've got 7,700, 8,000, and then an 8,400. Now, I think if we do break above 8,400, and I'm talking on like a 4-hour time frame, if we can break above 8,400, then I do think that we have potential for significant upside. So I'm not going to speculate on what that is at this time. We'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there. No prophecies here, but I do think that right now our resistance is going to be probably at 8,000 if we are able to get up to 8,000. So 7,700 to 8,000 likely is going to be significant resistance. I'm basically taking that off of these two wicks right here. I could probably get a more bearish bias if I pulled this up and over here, and then I took this also then to the downside. Potentially this being the top there. But if I take a look at this from this perspective, it looks as though we've already kind of started to break out. But I'm not a real big fan of this wick all the way up here from a trend line perspective. So that's why I'm saying that we do have a lot of this to to kind of pay attention to. We had this wick here, we had this cluster up here, we had a wick here, and then we just recently had the wick there. So it could be that that move up to let's see here, where was that top? Let's just zoom in here and take a look. That high, which was at 76.89, could have been the top. I was fully expecting for 7,700 to be significant resistance, and we went almost to 7,700, and now here we are, $200 and some lower from where we wicked off there. So if we can start taking out some of these lows, then I do think we will see those downside targets. But if we do, honestly, at this point, if we close a 2-hour candle above 75.70, then I do think that there is more potential for some more upside, which again can give relief to some of these altcoins, which have been doing fairly well. But again, if we break down to the downside, then I think alts are probably going to hurt quite a bit, especially the tether trading pairs. So we'll continue keeping an eye on those as things go. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. Right now we're in this new zone here, and I think this median is important for us. Again, around 76, 75 or so. If we can close a 2, 3, or 4-hour candle above 75, 70. 75, 75, and we can close a 4-hour candle up in this upper half, then I do think we have more potential for some more upside. We'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there, but for right now, this is kind of where we're at. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to throw in a comment here. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and wherever you are in the world, hopefully you're having a good day, good night, good evening. Kept it pretty short today.